Hello, everyone. My name is Swamp.
Nobody's walking around stressing over Jan 6. It happened, and that was it. We haven't gave a damn since. It's all good when riots are kept in the hood, but now you're freaking out because this was in the neck of your woods.
All right. Starting it off with some Samson, always the best way to do it. You should definitely check out that guy if you haven't. So it's true. The rumors are true. And by the rumors, I mean the thing that I wrote in the title of the stream. Bog Johnson will be joining us, but not until after Swamp News. So let's do it. Hello, everyone. My name is Swamp Johnson, and this is Swamp News. The Ukraine. Any updates? Vogue has your back. Nothing says super serious war than the cover of Vogue. In other good news, the Biden administration finally has a solution to the economic problem the country has been facing. And buckle up. Here it is. Change the definition of recession. Luckily for them, when they say something, everyone follows suit and pretends that that's the way that it's always been. With Wikipedia having already changed to the new marching orders, along with all of mainstream media. Amazing. This administration is doing such amazing things for the world. And even more good news, feminism has finally dealt a decisive blow to the patriarchy. Women hikers throw the kitchen sink at gender stereotypes as they climbed Scaffold Pike with washing stations attached to their backs in the fight for equality. Proving once and for all, women don't just belong in the kitchen because they can take the kitchen with them wherever they go. No more excuses, ladies. A private school in Texas teaches 5-year-olds that, quote, whites make it harder for black people, end quote. Don't mess with Texas, the bastion of conservatism. The lesson plan reads, today is Thursday, March 10th, 2022. Let's keep talking about freedom. Are there some people that have more freedom? Let's share our thoughts. New York has more freedom to vote than Texas. Black people have less and white have more. More money means more freedom. Whites make it harder for black people. Whites boss, and underlined for emphasis, boss POC around and have threatening body language. Disabled could get hurt. Ramps cannot enter buildings. You have to fight in a war. P.S. Tomorrow is pajama day. If your lesson plan about critical race theory ends with P.S. Tomorrow is pajama day, your students may be too young to be learning about critical race theory. The congressional baseball team, or the congressional baseball game, is supposed to be a few hours where politicians are set aside and they can play sports, celebrating the greatest country on earth. But is it any surprise to see sitting Congresswoman Linda Sanchez do something like this?
To lead off the inning, we'll get a pinch runner down there, the fist bump. We'll get an eye on who the pinch runner is going to be. It looks like it's going to be Jeffries. And she will come off to a nice ovation.
Well,
not much reaction from the
Republican side.
Kind of. Well, when she comes back around.
Now, to be fair, it could be because the Democrats were beaten by the Republicans 10-0. So maybe the frustration of the loss made her stoop so low. Definitely nothing to do with the rising political tensions in the country at all. Of course, to close out Swamp News today is our Kamala Harris quote of the week.
I am Kamala Harris. My pronouns are she and her. I am a woman sitting at the table wearing a blue suit.
Thank you for joining me. My name is Swap Johnson. My pronouns are he, him, and I am a man sitting at a desk wearing overalls and a trucker hat. This has been Swamp News. All right, everybody. Now it's time for the big moment. The moment we've all been waiting for. Well, maybe it is. Here we go. The man, the myth, the legend, Bog Johnson. Do we have you? Are you there? Are you present?
That's all, folks. I'm here.
I tried to unmute you, but apparently it was on your end, so...
Yeah, I saw that I needed to unmute myself, which is just a great metaphor for the state of the country right now.
Man, haven't done a Swamp News in a while. I was a little bit rusty on that.
It was impeccably done.
Just
you know?
always
all the news I needed to get right there.
I haven't read from a
my
script in a
question-
while, you know?
You know, I had a question about one specific topic on the news. What was that? That baseball game that was played there? Was
I don't know. It's a congressional
Democrats,
baseball
Republicans?
game. That's all I know. I never heard of it before, but, you know, we just had to see an amazing
God.
Democrat woman flipping off the Republicans.
What's wrong with this country? I assume they just meant that the Republicans were winning. So,
Well,
guess
yeah,
it's a good
that's
thing,
what
yeah.
that's what I was saying is, you know, maybe she's just upset because they lost 10-0. It was a blowout. Because, you know, I didn't want to make the joke because it's a little bit insensitive, but the Republicans generally were in much better physical shape than the Democrats. That was just an observation that I saw.
well, you know, I never want to be the person to draw comparisons between who was it, the U.S. women's soccer team fighting a group of 15-year-old boys and
Yep.
losing. But you know, I mean, the comparison is there. Let the people do what they will. You know?
Yeah. All right, so we've got a few things to get through today, to get over with today. To get over with.
Yeah, God. If you see what we see every single day, ladies and gentlemen,
Just get
this
it
is
over
something
with.
you got to get over with. You know?
I couldn't even say that right. It was there. It's in there somewhere. The statement's in there somewhere.
Listen, the depressive reality seeped in there for a moment,
I
but
think
your professionalism, you know, brought it back.
I think it's actually your Porky Pig reference has now got me self-conscious, so I'm just going to be stuttering through the rest of the show.
Well, I'm glad. I hope it gets Kamala Harris but more self-conscious there. 'Cause God damn, does she need some help on public speaking? Because holy shit, I don't think I've ever heard her speak a full sentence probably in the past goddamn 7 years.
Well,
I don't know.
there's been a lot of sentences. They just have none of them have been coherent. You know.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. That's the state of our government right now is to string words together to create a sentence that grammatically made sense to somebody 3,000 years ago. But I'm not bashing sticks together, so none of it makes any sense to me. But I mean, we'll rewrite things and it'll be fine.
Man, what the hell did I miss in the chat? What do you guys got going on in there? Wow.
Oh, chat, what's going on here? First thing I saw was mermaids are obsessed with semen. I don't know about that one.
It's already been quite a few interesting things today.
Am I allowed to say feminazis? Is that allowed on your stream here?
I don't think. I'm pretty sure that that's considered hate speech on any Google platform.
Probably
you're not allowed to say that anymore.
Well, if you say anything feminine in like an angry tone of voice, you can spin that in a million different ways. So then if you say Nazis, I mean, oh my god, I mean,
which we were going to end up saying a lot because if you see on the show map, we're going to learn about Nazi trees a little bit later. So it's going to be quite a show.
To learn about that.
So first things first, LGBTQ mermaids. I've actually wanted to cover this for a while, and I kept debating on whether I was going to make a video about it or do it live. So, you know what they say. Fuck it, let's do it live. So here we go.
Yeah, I'm right there with you.
I had to keep you on the screen there.
Whenever I do mermaiding, it brings back my sanity.
It is so much harder for me to swim with my legs than it is with my tail. Like, I really do feel like a mermaid who lost her fins.
Right now?
The for some reason the screen share thing isn't working.
I'm
as per
I'm
usual.
looking at the stream right now, and
it's the first time we've done this, so of course there's got to be some kind of technical difficulty on it. Anyway, you can listen though, right?
World. No, I can't hear what you're doing. There we go.
You'll have to use the other audio. For some reason, it's not working. Technical difficulties, guys.
Now I see what we're looking at. All right, and I hate it. Thank you.
Well, that's
this with me.
That's what we're here for, obviously. So here.
Oh my god, I love the. Someone chat just said those whales really do have blowholes.
They do.
Mermaids are mystical for me. This is like a kind of a dream come true from me.
I remember trying the first tale. It was
amazing.
November
So brave.
2019. I joined a Halloween party because there's a competition and I won the grand prize.
And here's the thing. Man, people are into weird stuff. If they want to be mermaids and stuff, that whatever, It's not my bag, but hey, some people that's
sure.
cool. But the weird thing is anything's legal, right? But no, it's this weird tie-in to LGBTQ stuff that is what gets me, because it's like, okay, sure, this is weird, but not anything that's like, okay, sure, whatever. But when they start tying it into LGBTQ, that's when it starts to get really interesting.
Well, do you remember? Well, that's the thing is like all this stuff used to just be innocuous things that people used to enjoy. Do you remember there was the Disney Channel movie years ago, was the 13th Year?
Oh, of course.
About the guy that turned into a mermaid and like that. Yeah, I mean, that was just about like this just like stupid movie about turn into a mermaid, and they had
everything has to be a an identity now. It's got to be an identity.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing I'm saying. It's like, all that stuff. It used to be one thing or another. It didn't matter. Now it's got to be all about like, oh, if at late afternoon, if you see the sky as having red out there, well, let me tell you,
that means this.
It means you're quasi-sexual.
Here, let's continue. It means you need to be
sexual.
It means you need to be dressing up as a mermaid.
Exactly.
It says once the stuff of fairy tales, mermaiding has grown into a I'm reading too slow. Global movement. So I was almost there. This is in Sydney, Australia, of course, because that's the center of all crazy shit in the world right now. Oh, now we're in Sacramento, California, the other center of crazy shit.
Oh, classic. In Thailand on vacation. I was like, what? That's a thing? You can do that? He's like, yeah, there's a community out there.
See, there's a community out there. And I say this all the time because really what I think this channel has become is I'm documenting this interesting regression. Like adults they're not growing up. And it's like, I get that you like this, but the way he talks about it and the way he's like, oh my God,
that's a thing? You can do that?
Well, that's the thing.
It's a regression. It's infantilizing. I don't know. People don't grow up anymore.
Well, exactly. That's the thing is, all this stuff used to be enjoyed by people, and it's always been that, for years. But we missed a window of time where we used to say things like, you enjoy, you want to do these things? Fine. This is America. Go do it. Just accept the reality that people who are also going to live a quote unquote normal life is going to look at you and be like, what the fuck is this person doing?
I know. You have the common decency to keep it to yourself. All right.
Yeah.
We don't need to know about it. But no, Tony, you're right. The guy that was in love with his sedan, that's an autosexual now for sure.
Yeah.
That's LGBTQ IA plus. It's in there.
Well, the plus is automotive. Right?
Yeah, there's a community out there.
Wave them high, wave them proud, yeah!
The diversity.
See, why are they all of them? Every single one of them has one of these flags. It's like, it's almost as if you start buying into delusion and believing that reality isn't reality, you can just end up anywhere.
Well,
I mean, one of those places could be dressed up as a mermaid in a pool.
Well, yeah, well, that's the whole point. Is that these people they need to seek that external validation. That's where all this comes from. So when you want to have that external validation, everything ceases to have any meaning. Everything means nothing anymore. So you might as well have any kind of color flag or anything, because none of it means anything.
Well, you didn't used to have to explain to somebody that if you were a part of a mermaiding community, that means nothing to anybody but you. So
yeah, exactly.
You didn't used to have to explain that to somebody. That's like, hey, did you hear about Bob? What? Yeah, he's into this weird mermaid thing. Oh, okay. What a freak. You want to go get a beer with Bob? Yeah, sure.
Well, and even beyond that, it used to mean like, if you did something that was so outside of the norm of what everyone else did, that's something you were going to have to accept that was going to happen to you. You may be looked at differently by a normal society, but you chose to do that thing because you wanted to go do it. You listened to that kind of music, you go to those shows, you did those type of things because those are the things that you wanted to go do. You didn't care what everyone else said.
Well, yeah, that's what punk rock used to be, right?
Exactly.
But now
it's all about.
But see, every single one of these people has. I can see there's like 6 different trans flags. That's not a surprise. But then I don't know what the other ones are. It's probably like non-binary and some other stuff because I got so many flags, or Two-Spirit or something. Two-Spirit actually makes sense. But I'm sure they say that anyone can join. It's open to everybody. Like how they say, it's about equality and stuff. And it's like, I'm not quite getting that vibe since everybody here is conforming to this particular thing, which is the LGBTQ. If it really was about mermaids, this would never even get brought up. This would not be involved in this.
You know, all of this stuff, the way I think about it is like we've all been, you know, like going to downtowns and major cities and going to clubs, right? Every single one of these things, it's always about who is the more exclusive group. These people, this flag gets to go into this club. This flag gets to go into that club. It's the same goddamn club, and you're still paying $16 for the same Miller Lite. You know?
But hey, these guys, they get to be gay together as fish, I guess. They're gay fish.
You know what?
It's gone back to South Park.
You know what? You know what? You've changed me. Because I can't be straight as fish with you.
It's true.
That you see her today is so beautiful that we can all come together from all different walks of life and just enjoy this.
Like I told you, they said it's like come together from all different walks of life. Everyone is trans. It's like, oh, okay. It seems strange that you don't have any other walks of life present here, but sure, okay.
It's so much more than hanging by the pool and putting on a mermaid tail. Through this sort of like silly, frivolous activity, right, dressing up and swimming around, you can use this as a platform to teach kids about our waterways and the importance of that. You can use it as a platform to talk about representation and how all of these mer people look different. The Society of
I mean, come on. What? Everything has to be this now. You couldn't be happy with just being gay or just being into this weird mermaid thing. It had to be. It's now an avenue for us learning about LGBTQ and acceptance. Okay, sure.
Mermaids is a community and clothing line that celebrates and centers fat folks. There's so.
Oh man, dude.
You might as well.
Did you hear what she said? The like association of fat mermaids that celebrate folks of all sizes and.
Society of Fat Mermaids is a community and clothing line that celebrates and centers fat folks.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
There's so many things, and I can think about it for myself that I've thought that I just could not.
The Society of Fat Mermaids.
Do as a person this size, and then you see somebody do it, and you're like, oh.
You hear this type of talk all the time from these people, and they think this is normal. Like they had to see someone else do something first. And then like now I feel free to accept myself. That's why representation is important. Listen, you were not brought up properly. You've had some sort of trauma in your life. If you can't, who cares what anybody else? I mean, do you accept yourself? You need to have a little bit more personal identity here.
This is why the biggest thing is about this. Everything that's happening, and I don't know how deep am I getting this on this stream. It's all of this is a piss poor excuse for raising children that we've seen from the 90s.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's what all this is. Everything we're seeing right now is from people who were raised so poorly, from people who started raising kids, in the 90s.
Now, if you just said that I never saw someone dressed up as a mermaid swimming in a pool before and I didn't know that was possible, I would believe you. I mean, that makes sense, because who the hell would ever, you probably have to see someone doing that first. Well, but the other part of it is like, I have a feeling that's not all that this person's talking about, right? I mean,
exactly.
It's the same language they use for everything about representation and why it's so important.
Well, the whole like dressing up as mermaids, go swimming in a pool has been around for decades, of course. What was
it was on Daniel Tosh years ago.
Yeah, well, it was one of the first Disney Channel did it since the 90s. I mean, the whole
as movies, yeah, but
well, yeah, but like that was a thing that kind of started that whole thing. It's what twisted these people's minds.
Well, it's true that they actually remember they
exist.
Remember they used to make those for kids. The the flippers that looked like fins and the things you could put on your arm for the shark swimming stuff. You know, remember that?
I remember those commercials. Yeah,
Oh yeah, those commercials were everywhere.
you could the commercials where you like the whole thing was like you could scare your family because the shark fins.
Yeah, that was fun. Fun stuff, man. I don't think we ever had that.
People
but the
still remember the 90s.
Watching the commercials.
People still remember that? Like that was.
Watching the commercials was fun.
Oh, they got mermaid tails in my size. Let's go.
I was so sure that I was too old and too fat.
So we've got Society of Fat Mermaids and Mermaid at Any Age teaching this class.
Mermaiding's like the Wild West.
This is just bizarre. I mean, I get that you like this stuff, but yeah, it's this weird thing that, well, I just thought I was too this or too that to do this. Do you see what it is that you're doing?
Yeah.
It's crazy shit, okay? It is. And good for you. Do it, you know?
Exactly.
Years ago, when I first started getting tattoos was crazy. I mean, now every single person in our age group has them. But it's like, what part of seeing someone dressed up as a mermaid? That's like saying, like, I saw this guy dressed up as a clown, and I just was like, there's no way I could do that. And it's like, what? Yes, you can. Do you think that this is like particularly worried about self-image and like just do it? Yeah. I was worried about looking stupid in my mermaid costume.
Well, I think one of the things that is so interesting to me is the subtle relation these people like want to make, but that don't really make between how they think of the way they live their lives and the Wild West. I mean, like the settling of America, you know, it was really about how do you want to live in this new entire
no, you don't get it. Mermaiding is now the Wild West, okay?
And Mermaid at Any Age.
This is because that's what she said.
Mermaiding's like the Wild West. A few years ago, you know, people were just kind of making it up.
When
I came in, my friends were like, just jump in the pool and do this. And as I was doing my training, I'm like, oh,
it's the Wild West, man.
Hands on whichever side is our dominant side.
And now.
This is just bizarre, man. I mean, you have to be taught.
I'm going to say one thing right now that's going to just ruin all this for a lot of people is that at one point in time, that just meant that if you didn't live a certain way they wanted to, they would just shoot you and kill you.
This is
not like how it used to be years ago, which was just, we just say like, okay, yeah, go do whatever you want to do. It doesn't matter anymore.
Go be a mermaid.
Organizations have been combining their knowledge with the knowledge of some of these, you know, MERS who got us started, and we really have the opportunity to teach people how to do things safely and foundationally.
I'm a full-time coach for Ocean Camp, teaching freediving and mermaiding.
I have a feeling the free diving part pays a lot more of the bills than the mermaiding part. Well, maybe I'm wrong.
Normally trained our mermaids, our mercies to try first the training on how to use the monofin so that they will be accustomed on how to deal with it.
Hey, if we were actually like, if you're out in like Hawaii or something, I would totally use one of those things. That would be awesome. See, I'm not a hater.
That's fair. Yeah.
To go snorkeling with that would be epic, especially in a place where...
I don't think I'm a goddamn fish, but all right.
And I'm not going to wear like a crazy thing to try to make myself look like a mermaid. And I'm certainly not going to become a member of the mermaiding community. But, you know...
Mermex?
You know, some people, you know, they just do stuff and it's fun and that's it. And it doesn't take over their life, which is, I know it's crazy, but...
Yeah.
Some people have seen a comic book movie and then didn't make it their entire personality. You know, it's bizarre, but it has happened.
Listen, everyone thought that when Kick-Ass 1 came out, it was funny. Everyone enjoyed that. It just became too real. All right.
Yeah, now you just pump the brakes. I mean, I don't know how long it's been since there's been a good comic book movie. Well, technically, we haven't watched the new Batman movie yet, so we'll have to see if that's any good, but...
Yeah,
I mean, I haven't seen a Marvel movie in years, so I have no idea.
You're not missing much, dude.
It's so relaxing, it's graceful, it's peaceful under the sea, it's so quiet.
It's actually one of my bucket lists, so I'm very happy, very proud that I was able to do this.
I'm going to have to call BS on that. someone's bucket list item was to go mermaiding. I don't know about that.
No, it has nothing to do with being a mermaid. It was about the Little Mermaid. Do you not hear the under the sea reference that he made earlier?
Ah, yes.
Come on.
But you know what I mean? It's like this weird distinction of, see, this part of it, this doesn't seem crazy to me. Like, you're on vacation and you go snorkeling, right? And it's like, hey, we've got this fun thing called the monofin. It kind of makes you like a mermaid, and you're like, oh, that'll be cool. And then you go out snorkeling. Yeah. That's normal. But then when you get to be at the level of I didn't know where that was going to cut to, and it was perfect.
Absolutely spot on.
I was actually looking for where is that one? I was looking for this one. Not because she's a big lady.
No.
But look at the crazy the dress up with it and everything. I'm kind of like, what? I don't know, man.
What I assume is tattoos and everything.
And what does it have to do with
LGBT?
And why does it have to be associated with LGBT? I just don't understand that.
Well, I don't want to accuse anybody of, being less intelligence, but there are certain things that go hand in hand with not necessarily thinking things through.
No, listen, we're supposed to dance around it. All right. We've already cursed enough that my monetization is gone.
Moron. Does that help?
We've cursed enough that my monetization's already gone for this video. But you know,
you don't have to on a live stream.
But we didn't have to insult
and just.
You didn't have to also. Whoa!
I don't know what you want here.
You didn't also have to call the LGBTQ mermaids stupid. Okay, that was just uncalled for.
Hold on. I did not. I never called the LGBTQ mermaid stupid. I called myself stupid for witnessing what was happening. That's how I'm gonna go around this.
I guess there's a distinction there. Sure, that's what we're gonna go with. So I hope everyone's enjoyed this. This is the LGBTQ mermaids, and they've got groups in California, which I didn't have to tell you. I'm sure you would have assumed that's where you would be able to find LGBTQ mermaids would be in California. So contact your local mermaid ambassador and join a class today.
Yeah, contact your local mermaid ambassador and tell.
And on that note, back to the main show. What did you say there? What is the translation? The dolphin translation?
Listen, I put it in Dolphinese. That way it would not be censored by the overlords.
Yeah. Fair enough. Man, it almost feels wrong to go to the next story after watching that, because that's such a lighthearted thing.
I want to point out one meta thing that just happened right now. Did you see Tadpole's message in chat? He just said, "I gotta go. See you. Have a good time." And his message was removed. Tadpole, have a good one.
Without the LGBTQ mermaids, he saw no point in hanging around.
Yeah, really. Jeez.
Which is fair if you're a tadpole. I mean,
no. Tadpole, he's still growing. He's a child,
So he shouldn't be exposed to this type of LGBTQ.
No, exactly.
It's like
we should not have this. It's like child schools. Okay.
Yeah, it's like child drag shows.
Listen. Aggressive predatory frogs do not belong in tadpole schools.
Hey, that's a discussion for another time, all right? And it's just not appropriate across the board.
Tony says he's only here for the mermaids, so you can get out right now. I don't know what kind of show you run here, but
Correction, Tadpole is a girl. My bad. There's no
Tadpole
there's no such thing as misgendering on this show.
Tadpole is a non-gendered term. If I was going to gender, I would say TadX. Okay.
I guess. I thought that would be the gendered version.
That would be. Have you talked to you? Have you talked to any college level?
That would be the
Hispanics?
That'd be the non-gendered, right? Like Latinx.
Yeah.
Like Latinx.
You know, Latinx, all that. Come on.
Man, you didn't need to.
No, it's the new one. The Philippines. Come on.
Well, that just feels racist.
They also think so.
That's true. All right. And I said it kind of feels wrong to switch to this, but this was the way I had it planned because it's like, hey, that was such a goofy, lighthearted thing, and then now this is like not at all. This was the one serious thing I wanted to go over on the show today.
All right, I can be serious. Let's do it.
Oh, of course, the way that we have our screen sharing set up. This is the first time we've done this, so there's gonna be some bumps in the road. All right. I gotta add a new. Son of a bitch.
All I'm seeing is just a big Latinx on the screen.
Don't you ever call me that.
Wow, does that term offend you?
Maybe.
Wow. Starting to show your true colors here, Swamp. All right.
Oh, is it really gonna do this? Is this gonna make me do this? Come on, man. Come on, man.
You all right there?
Well, I didn't realize that these two things were gonna conflict with each other.
Our thing in the stream?
Yeah, I can't get this stupid thing to go away on the tab. Okay, I guess that's gonna be... Man, that is super annoying. Okay, hey!
Do what you need to do for the sake of the stream, man.
We got it now. All right, have you heard about this story about a Chicago mother who had her daughter taken away because she didn't want to affirm the trans identity of the child? Have you heard about this?
I don't think I've heard this specific one, but there are a lot of stories like this.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think the only reason this one has been gaining more traction is because the mom is like a liberal and a Democrat and looks kind of like a lesbian. And those are the people. It's not the conservative people that we're supposed to, it's only the crazy conservatives that don't like this transgender stuff on kids.
I'm going to say another thing right now that's going to get you canceled. Just this whole thing demonetized. J.K. Rowling had it right when she said that all this stuff you will never do enough.
For sure. Consumed. But that's I think it was last week we talked about a bunch of the Harry Potter and J.K. Rowling stuff. But here, let's start this clip. Let's see.
Yeah, play it.
Yeah, that's the mom. Kind of looks like an emo kid from...
My daughter's name is Sophia.
10 years ago.
She's amazing. On July 22nd, 2019, she went to her dad's house for a regular custodial visit, and she never came back. I later found out that she had told her stepmom and her dad that she was trans and she didn't want to live with me anymore. She felt unsafe. I missed my daughter's 13th birthday, her 14th birthday, and her 15th birthday. She will be 16 in August.
It is just so bizarre to watch these types of stories because it's like, what kind of level does someone have to get to think that this is taking someone's kid away like that is actually a good idea? You know, that there's actually a justification that is anything short of, you know, physical violence or, you know, anything like that. I mean, it's just insane to think about, really.
Well, I mean, there are some people out there that put it in a very interesting way. I really do agree with. It's like we've gotten to a point in our society, and this can be taken so many wrong ways. But you can talk and logic your way out of anything now, you know, because we've changed everything, and nothing means anything anymore.
Well, yeah, it's the like I say all the time, it's logic without reason. You know, exactly. It's just a
it's you know it's the trifecta, right? Logic, reason, and ethics.
Yeah,
you know? And none of those things work if they're not working in tandem.
And that's why, all the time. That's why I say I could argue the point of the other side actually better than they could, because, or, you know, I understand their viewpoint because it's like, no, I can follow your logic. Whereas they're just, you know, it's like a blind hatred. No, you have to do this. And I've made it make sense in my mind. So it has to make sense. But you're right. Yeah. If it doesn't have reason and like, especially ethics and morality attached to it, then it's worthless.
Is an unfortunate reality of good intentions gone awry by a cult, you know? Like it's just it's an idea of like what all this started, which was just, you know, just not be assholes to each other. That's where it all came from, and that made sense at one point in time. But then the goalpost kept moving.
Well, yeah. Then you remove reason from the equation, and the objective realities. You know, once you remove reality from it, it's like, well, no, their reality is just as valid as yours. And no, because if it's not reality, we can have different interpretations of reality, but it's reality. You know, I mean, were you born a boy or a girl? There is a reality there. There's not like, you can talk about transition or whatever, but it's like, well, no, I mean, come on.
Exactly. that's the thing is, you know, it's Neil put it, you know, he said in the chat here, he said, the very concept of all this is a contradiction. And I think that, you know, it's important to make sure you define the definition or the distinction between what you're saying is you can live any way you want to in our country. You can live any way you want. If you want to sit there and say I am a
mermaid,
yeah, I mean, really, if you want to sit there and say like, you know, I'm a half hawk quasi elephant, fine, I should be able to do that. You know?
Oh, a Hindu god.
Sure. Exactly. But yeah, I you know, but the reality, you know, but I should be able to sit there and also say, you know, I can do that, but I don't have to acknowledge the exception, you know, the
well, you don't have to join in that play, you know, that idea.
I want to be verified by other person around me.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay, let's continue this.
People who are imprisoned have more communication with their child than I do. It's been 2.5 years. I can't believe I'm alive.
Where does this woman live?
Chicago.
Oh my God.
And that's why I said it's like, I think that's why the story's kind of gone viral recently, because it's, people have been arguing, you know, like from my perspective of like, why are you making this such a weird political thing when we're talking about whether or not children should be pumped full of hormones and making, physical changes to their body that will last forever. How is that a conservative idea to say that's wrong? I mean, it's like, it's how it always
almost,
baffled me why the feminists, so many of them embrace this trans thing. It's like, wait, you say you're supposed to be fighting for women, and then the second that one man says, well, I am a woman, you go, well, okay then. It's what? How are you fighting for women then?
Beyond all that, what's really interesting to me is I've been watching more and more videos and commentaries from people outside of the U.S. and this whole idea of this whole gender ideology and this self how we perceive ourselves and what we can think of our own blah. It's almost like it's gone past progressive. The countries they point to, specifically, out in Europe and so on and so forth. All those countries actually make fun of us now because of all this stuff. Because they sit there.
Oh yeah, I mean, most of them.
The US is a joke because we've taken it way too goddamn far.
Most people are aware that
now that we could not even. They don't even comprehend.
Well, yeah, most of them are aware that a lot of this LGBTQ ideology is dangerous. It's dangerous.
In country, we say these other countries, they're the epitome of all these things. They they show how this stuff is a good thing, but they sit there at the same time laugh at what the hell we're doing.
Oh yeah. So it says here, when 12-year-old Sophia announced that she identified as transgender, her father requested that the court restrict access to her mother, who previously had custody 6 days and 7 nights a week. So basically all the time.
So there's no motivation there.
Oh, it gets better, man. And by that I mean worse. Because her ex-husband alleged their daughter was no longer mentally or emotionally safe in her custody.
Well, all of this, I mean, anyone who has any kind of sane understanding of how it is to be a human being,
usually,
you have to realize there's some kind of weird, disturbing, pedophilic thing here.
Well, there's something obviously sadistic and dangerous about it. I mean, to say that there isn't is undeniable. I mean,
worst case scenario, you're in your late 20s, early 30s. Think about how you were when you were a teenager. To just sit there and try and think that you have the same mind as you did back then, well, then either you've never grown up or you're an idiot.
And that's one of the things I bring up on the channel a lot now is about the the infantilization of adults and this regression where they do seem to stay as if they are still undeveloped.
Well, we were doing the same things that we did to dogs, hundreds of years ago, which is to say you're too scared, you're too stupid to understand what's happening. Just be afraid because you can't comprehend what's happening. Yeah, animals, sure, that's one thing, but for people, that's what's happening right now. You can't understand, you can't comprehend what's happening in your own life. Just be fucking afraid, and just be worried about it instead of just growing up and just dealing with the things that are happening in your life.
Oh, and ignore it, and we'll find some ways to take care of you.
Child Protective
but that never
Services
happens.
has a definition of what it means to be unsafe, to either be abused or neglected. There was no evidence that I had done anything like that. When they temporarily kept her with her dad for a period, I was fine with that. I thought that's what they should do. That's the responsibility of the court to investigate if a child is saying that they feel unsafe. So they did a 7-month investigation. I had psychological testing, so did my ex-husband, hours and hours of interviews. We each had home visits, and
that's one of the things where you can tell that she is in no way right-leaning at all, where she's like, no, that's great. The court should take away my kid for 7 months while they investigate, because I feel like most people who are more conservative would say, well, wait, whoa. You should probably have some pretty damn good evidence before you take the child away in general. I mean, No, we have child protective services for a reason because it serves a logical function. But
yeah,
it seems pretty extreme what she just said. That they just came and took her away for 7 months to investigate. 7 months, over half a year. I mean, that's crazy.
Well, yeah, exactly. And it comes from the way you manipulate the thought of yourself. You know, if you sit there and you say, "Well, no, I know the way that I want to live, and I know the way I want to raise my children." You know, screw what they say when they come on and want to change that. But
yeah,
they did interviews with
bizarre.
other people who had observed my daughter and me together. After that report came out, I thought, surely this is going to resolve itself. Clearly, there is no finding of abuse or neglect. They didn't find anything about me that is unsafe. But the thing that I clearly am not complying with is this concept that good parenting means that you affirm a child's idea that there is something wrong with them. I'm not willing to do that.
Yes.
They want me to have a certain...
Well, I think we're going to see a lot more people like this who are not the typical conservative right-wing boogeyman that they have for how it's only those people who hate this. And it's like, no, this is actually on a human level. It's just wrong. And I think you're just going to see a lot more people that normally would have kept their mouth shut about basic things that were LGBTQ related, who now, when you're messing with their kids, are not going to keep their mouth shut.
This is the thing that just this makes my blood boil more than anything. Just this idea that these people have that a child's mind is the same as a normal, like, adult person's mind, because it's just inherently harmful to the child. You know, when you're growing up.
And why did we make that? Why did we make that shift? Because that never was. It was always known. The opposite was known. To be true.
There should have always been a thing. Who was it? There was some comedian that had a whole thing about how child labor laws was just a bad thing, because they were like, you used to be able to go into a store and you used to do something, and they'd sit there and be like, wow, this kid's an idiot. Like, well, I'm not gonna listen to this goddamn kid because he's a kid. I'll listen to the adult. If his this kid's parent says one thing, okay, I'll listen to him. I gotta listen to this kid. Kids, they don't know anything. They're gonna lie. They're gonna screw things up. They'll do anything. That's what kids are. They're learning to exist in this world.
Well, it's like
not
what
on the same level.
It's like Shapiro says every single time he brings up his kids on his show about they're barbarians, and we as parents are here to civilize them, socialize them, to learn how to deal with the world.
It's interesting because I've seen I've seen him talk to his kids before, and I've seen people talk to their own kids before, and I think there's a big thing that has disappeared over really just the past few years, of the idea of, there's always been the joke of like, oh, my kids are my friends more than I am like their parent. That was never really a big thing.
But that used to be the one. That's used to be the person that was referred to as a bad parent.
Exactly.
The majority of people would say, "Oh, you're one of those people." People knew that was bad.
As I've gotten older, I look at the people around me and the people my age and so on, and I see them how they raise their kids. And I see they're like, "No, your kid should not be your friend. The dynamic is there." The relationship is there. You be the parent. You are the adult in that relationship. You tell them how certain things are done. You raise them a certain way.
And as
you let that kid have his own, freedoms or relationships or whatever. You need to make sure that you do your job and raise that kid right. That's why this woman sit there and be their friend.
That's why this woman is correct, and this is what happens now when you try to be a parent. They just take your kids away.
Yeah.
Understanding that there is such a thing as a child who is born transgender, and this is who they are.
Well, this is why the whole transgender kids thing is so screwed up.
It makes no sense.
You're taking the word of a child as like a. It's textbook fact. No, you take it the same way you say a child says there's a salt monster living in the the eighth dimension, their quasi bedroom. It doesn't make any sense, I mean, like,
That's why
you sit there and you go in and be like, okay, yeah, let's look around. Okay, you turn the light on, you look in there in the closet, and okay, yeah, I understand you're afraid here, but me as the adult must and show you, okay, there's nothing wrong here. Then you move on.
That's one of the best parts in the What Is a Woman documentary, where he's like talking to that woman about, well, a child thinks Santa Claus is real. And the woman just keeps saying, well, to them they are. And it's like, yeah, but they're not real. No, but to them they are. And it's like, what? No, what?
And Walsh,
he's like, that's the point I'm trying to make. To them they are real, but they're not real.
that's the whole point that Walsh makes the entire time. I love that part of the movie when he's talking to that woman on the street, and she's like, that's not their truth. He's like, okay, I can't tell you what a woman is. So I'm not. Okay, can you tell me what a cat is?
Oh, I know. I love that part. And then that's when that person goes, I've made a mistake here.
Yeah.
I'm going to go.
You can't tell me what a cat is? Like, you as a person can't tell me what that is.
I think that's good parenting.
To parents of transgender children, affirming your child's identity is one of the most powerful things you can do to keep them safe and healthy.
It is.
God, Biden just cannot get through any sentence without mumbling halfway through it.
And even this whole thing he says about as the most powerful thing you do to themselves, their safety and blah. It makes you wonder how there are even any human beings to exist on this planet ever. Because by that logic, all of us should have died out. Centuries, millennia ago. How long have human beings existed?
Well, yeah, that's what they said. Like, the child needs space to explore their gender and stuff, and you're like, oh, really? Well, that's how we all got here. Was indulging this gender ideology. That's how the whole world exists. You're right.
I've told you this before, Swamp, but I have a whole thing about the. There's two different fields of study in psychology of the hierarchy of needs and the hierarchy of development, and how we progress through life. And I think that it's so much more. Those two things are so much intertwined. I think we've reached a point in our society where we have developed to a point where we cannot get past this. Our minds just won't let us. This is what we're seeing right now. We're seeing the collapse of all this because we can't. We're now inventing problems that never existed through all of human. Because at one point in time, it was like you went out into the woods. And it was like, you could think these people when they're selling in America ever thought about, what gender am I? No, they were like, okay, yeah, I need to build my log cabin or a bear will eat me today.
It's unfortunate that we are teaching children that a word will cause them to commit suicide. That is not how suicide works. We know that children who are depressed, anxious, autistic, have a history of childhood trauma, are more likely to kill themselves, are more likely to attempt suicide, are more likely to have self-harm. Does that mean that changing their identity, creating a new self, is the secret to get them out of their childhood trauma, to get them out of depression? That has never been true, and it is not true today. I won't do that. I'm not going to believe in a lie, and I'm not going to convince my daughter that somehow she is so weak that she cannot hear her birth name. If I say Sophia, she will still live. I promise her that I will sit there with her through her distress. I will be present in her life. I'm not going anywhere.
Wow, this kind of actually makes me love this mom. I mean,
well, yeah, that's what I said. She's awesome. I mean, she lives in Chicago and has all these stupid political beliefs and says that she's always voted Democrat and she never would vote anything else. And she's, but it's like, that's why, yes, listen to this because everything she's saying is 100% correct. And that's what people who've been against this stuff have been screaming from the rooftops, forever.
Yeah.
And not that they're going to pay attention to her any more than you or I saying it, but this shows me that there's more and more people who are seeing past the extreme political divide that we have, because we're still going to disagree on politics. That's fine. But as long as we have this thing where we can go, we better make sure our politics don't result in their kids being taken away from parents because they won't refer to them as a magical third gender. I mean, that's crazy.
This is something that we've seen throughout a lot of history, is getting to the point where the last people who are attacked are the children.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they love, these people love pointing to the Nazis. Look at what happened in late stage of Nazi Germany. What happened to the Hitler Youth? What happened to the children of Nazi Germany? They were taken away from these families. And they're doing the exact same thing. They're saying, you cannot raise your children right. We will take them from you. We will do this for you. We'll do it the right way. I mean, it's so...
Well, yeah, of course. That's what I mean. That's what every society that gets into this state always does, and there's always a different pretext for it, right? But it always is the same thing every time.
Well, this video is actually very interesting to me because it's actually genuinely very hopeful.
Oh yeah,
because it's like I me and a lot of people and tons of people have always been saying, it's like, you can live any way you want, you can believe anything you want in this country. There are certain things that we have to accept, and this is one of those things.
Well, we have to have some similar core beliefs, and that's what immigrating to this country used to always mean, right? Is that, listen, you have freedoms to do whatever you want, but if you're coming here, you need to adopt some basic core beliefs. Otherwise, we're not going to be able to coexist, because it's just not good. I mean, you have to believe in the foundations of this country, and if you don't, then it's not ever going to work out. But we have a bunch of people who don't believe on the very basics.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, Neelan's right, and I agree with him. Is like, she's probably going to keep going down this road, and it probably will force her to change her opinions on politics. But that's just a peripheral thing that is going to be, I think, it would be good that's going to happen. But the fact that, and if her doing this is probably going to make other people actually feel like, because these are the same kind of people who, like in the mermaid thing, said that, well, when I saw someone else do it, I knew it was okay. Whereas I never needed that, but these people apparently do, because this is someone that they can identify with, right?
I'm glad you brought up what Neil in the chat said. It's exactly the same thing. It's like we're not. I was thinking, me and a lot of people, nobody wants this great policy, necessarily great policy change. It's just like, that probably would generally lead to a policy change.
Yeah.
But what's happening is in the cultural side,
absolutely.
These are the things that lead to like that mermaid fucking cult.
but you know what I'm saying is that, like, even if she wants to stay a Democrat, or even if she considers herself left, if this makes her want to get these people out of her party, then I'm all for it. If this means that, okay, we need to get rid of the people who vote for these things, our own politicians, we need to get rid of them.
It's so interesting that the dynamic change between I know a lot of people I'm really good friends with in my own personal life that are Democrats, but in terms of knowing them personally, they're Democrats very minute policy wise.
Oh yeah, well, most of the time
of like the role of the federal government and how they should but we will sit there and we will talk all day long about how these people are fucking crazy about stuff. Like,
oh yeah,
all my good friends, they live here in the South with me, and they'll sit there and be like, these people in California are nuts. I mean, God, I know people out in California I love, but they'll sit there and talk about how the things that these people are saying are absolutely insane, that no, like, normal human being should ever come up with. But we're on different sides of the aisle on certain policies, you know. But that's just it goes to show how far removed from reality and humanity these people actually genuinely are.
Well, but it is true. One of the things that they said, it just so happens that they were wrong about the certain parts of it, was that, you know, they made that statement about how, like, you know, voting for Trump means that maybe you're not a racist, but you agreed that racism isn't a deal breaker, which I happen to disagree. I don't think Trump's a racist, but the logic is sound. If you disagree with the groomers and you disagree with this craziness of taking people's kids away, but you continue to vote for them, then yes, that is what you're saying, right? Because I think inevitably, once you start waking up to this, certain things have to change. I mean, you have to say, well, I'm not going to vote for this person who wants to take away kids from parents just because a blue-haired LGBTQ teacher said so. You know.
Yeah.
Here, let's try to get through this. We got a few more things to get to, and at least the other ones are a little bit funnier.
You know, Swamp, you and I, we know that we could literally talk about this stuff for hours on end. But let's try, for the sake of everybody watching, let's get there.
The final agreement that I have signed, yes, I suppose I agreed to it. I'm not sure I had any choice. It had been decided that something was wrong in this child's life and they needed to solve that problem because she was in distress in some way. And they needed
is that the Argentine
thing
flag?
that they could
No,
change
that's-
in her life.
that's,
and I happen to be
Chicago.
the chosen one. It is easy to say
It's
that
Illinois.
mom is a problem and we will eliminate her.
Oh,
and all of a
Argentina's flag is
sudden
more
everything
sun.
will be fine. That's not true. That's not what's happening.
But see, that's if she's acknowledging that, that's what I was like, the thing that I don't even care about that, because it's inevitable that if she's realizing this is what's happening, that it will change her policy positions, where she's realizing that the decision was already made. It didn't really matter what I did or said. Yeah, that's what a tyrannical government will do. I mean, that's people who are overreaching, that's exactly what they'll do. You know, I mean, I got to believe this will change some of her policy position.
The process by which she was removed and it was solidified that she would not be in my presence, that I would not have contact with her, is damage to her. It is a trauma to her. In no way should family court separate children from their biological parents without any evidence of abuse or neglect. That is
Oh man, how did no one tell me I had the background music still playing that whole time? On the swamp country music. Sorry.
wrong. It shouldn't be happening to me.
I can't hear it on my end,
so.
so.
Any parent. It definitely should not have happened to my child.
I didn't
is
hear
the
it.
greatest victim in this entire
It was
thing.
on, but I guess it was quiet.
My daughter did a normal adolescent thing. She tried something, but there were no guardrails. Nothing stopped her. I'm not mad at my daughter. I'm not disappointed in her. I'm disappointed in the adults that have failed to protect her.
Yes, I think she touched on something so great. I think that's really important.
Nobody has
like
sent
to
me.
development of kids. So I think that we, everybody. I mean, think about when you were growing up. I mean, I love to go do stupid shit. I mean, I know you did too. It's like, at one point in time, I had this great idea.
What's with this past tense? I still do.
No, you still do, but you did some stupid shit. Don't get me wrong.
I do. I guess I do age appropriate stupid shit now.
You got a mohawk and dyed two different sides, different colors. Like, I mean,
that
there's
was
no
awesome.
getting around that. That was stupid, but it looked fucking cool at the time. But
If you're 16, hell yeah.
Yeah, I remember being a kid and thinking like, what's gonna be really cool? It was really cool that nobody else is gonna do. Was to do highlights of my hair, but black. Of course, it's stupid. I would not do that now as a full-grown adult, obviously. But you know what? On one hand, I had the adults in my life that says, like, you want to do that? Sure. let's do it. This is the time to do it. Go dye your hair stupid color.
Well, yeah, because that's what she's saying, right? Is the adults should be the ones who know which things are going to be dangerous. It should be helping them.
Exactly.
Like she said, putting up guardrails. I mean, if your kid wants to wear crazy clothes or dye their hair or something, I don't necessarily think there's anything wrong with that. But yeah, if it's
when you're a kid, that is the time to do it. I know so many people that once I got into college and so on, years after, that would go do crazy things that I did when I was a teenager.
Yeah, I think everyone has similar.
I'm sorry that you missed that time to go do that. But at some point in time, you have to grow up.
Yeah, I think everybody had that experience when they started college with the people that are like, they're doing these things and you're like, well, this doesn't seem appropriate to do now.
Yeah. I'm sorry this is what I mean by the unfortunate ways that we raised kids in the 90s. That just this the idea of you shouldn't do certain things, you shouldn't make certain choices. Yeah, it screwed a lot of people up years going on.
Nobody has sent me any of her school pictures since she left. I'm not sure why I don't deserve to get them. This is her last, that's her last school photo that I ever got. I think that was,
I mean, it's just evil. Once they decide you're not in the cult, they just cut you out of everything. It's crazy.
It became unbearable. You have such a
might as well just join Scientology
pull and such feelings when you look at photos of your child, and it became
actually worse than Scientology.
Unbearable to feel those feelings.
I don't know. It may be comparable. I don't know if I could say worse.
No, I think it actually genuinely is worse than Scientology, because at least actually not at least actually well depends what you mean worse, because in Scientology you can make mistakes and
but once
they will bring you back and they will shut that.
But once you're not involved, they have the disconnect where you have to disconnect from all your family and everything and shun them.
It's a lot more disconnect. It's a lot more brutal with Scientology. Whereas with the woke stuff, they'll just kick you out. I mean, but you get a little bit of more connection now.
And so I told myself, I'm just going to pack them in boxes. I'm not going to throw them away. And someday I'll be able to open the boxes and not cry. I see that my child is at sea in a boat. She is struggling. She is in kind of tumultuous seas. I know that. I have seen that. And what I have been told is to follow her lead, to follow her in this journey. I am not willing to do that. I don't think that is good parenting. It's my responsibility not to hook my boat to hers. It is my responsibility to be a lighthouse, to be something stable that she can see, some guide that she has that will always be there, that is consistent. I still do that today, even though I have no custody of her. I have no medical decision-making, no educational decision-making, and no way to communicate with her other than by mail. I don't have her phone number. I know where she lives, but I'm not allowed to go there. I know where she goes to school, and I'm not allowed there either. But this is parenting. What I'm doing, even though I have no real contact with her, I am still a parent. I am still her mother. I am still parenting now.
Man, that is brutal. That is just
that's really, really rough.
At the end, we couldn't even say anything about it. I was just like, I'm just gonna watch this. But one of the things that they didn't mention in that video, though, that I read about in the article, was that her ex-husband who got remarried, all this stuff started after he married this I can't remember what it's some kind of therapist, some kind of child psychologist or something like that. And it's like,
Well,
oh, well, that can't be a fucking coincidence.
We're getting to the point where child psychologist is equivalent to pedophile. So,
oh, for sure. That's what I'm saying. It's like they didn't bring it up in that clip, but yeah, that was one of the things I thought was one of the most egregious parts, though, was I read it in the article where it's like, yeah, this is...
Yeah,
come on.
it reminds me of a time, like, you know, I'm not going to name any names, but this was a time before all this shit. I think I told you about this story when I was younger. I don't think you remember or not, but a good friend of mine, his mom died to brain cancer, and then like a couple months after she died, his dad basically told him, like, we were in high school at the time. Basically just told him, like, all right, you need to move out and find your own life, you know, your own way in life. I'm not going to support you anymore. Because his new wife, who he married, like, you know, suspiciously close after she died.
Yeah.
Didn't like him. And I remember I met the guy like twice, and I wanted to kill the guy because I was so mad.
Oh, for sure.
So
yeah,
I was
that's
gonna
crazy.
say, you're gonna sit here, you're gonna toss your own kid out because some younger woman, like, yeah, that you like more than your own child, you know, tells you need to kick him out. You know, that guy, you know, he's got a decent life now, you know. But this is the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, that's the
same thing.
I was kind of surprised they didn't bring it up, but it's like, oh, come on. That's maybe she just didn't want to bring it up, and they put it in the article, you know, because she just didn't want to say it. Because
it's the same. It's damn near the exact same narcissism as, like, honestly, is, you know, the current argument of abortion.
Yeah, for
how
sure.
topical you want to get right now, but it's like, yeah, it's the same.
Well, let's get into this. Since we've, I'm probably gonna cut out the as read by tonight, since we've gone over a little bit, which I mean I figured was probably gonna happen, but we should end it on a funny note at least.
Listen,
and go to everyone's favorite thing, TikTok.
If you want me to be on here, most of it's not going to be monetized. I'll tell you that right now, man.
Oh, mine almost never are. The streams almost never get monetized anymore.
I deal with this all day, every day. So I got to vent, man.
Let me check. Let me see if.
I see we're in the Nazi tree stuff.
Yep, that's it. Oh, geez, man. For some reason, YouTube's claiming I just lost a whole chunk of subscribers, man. I guess we're not good entertainment.
Oh my God. I just saw your subscriber count. I've not checked in a while. Oh my God, dude. You were killing it, man.
Oh, that was what to say. Did it go down significantly or what?
No, last time I looked, you were at 1,000. So
yeah. It's impressively, it's not on no ads. It's on limited ads. So, you know, hey, we're actually not doing too bad comparatively.
I see I'm not doing well enough.
Yeah.
Listen, to YouTube world, I work a job where every minute, every day, just assumed it's going to go away.
So here we go. I came across this. It was on my For You page on Twitter, you know, like your timeline thing where it's just a bunch of random shit. And like they have the one where they just show you
the recommended stuff.
Yeah, where it's like it's not people you follow. It's just like, you know, stuff trending and whatnot. Yeah. And this came up, and oh my gosh, man!
I see hashtag erase hay, and she's carving something into a tree, and I'm on board.
Here we go. So it started with this. This was the video that first came up, dude. This whole thing is just hilarious because this is basically a story about how if you think that you're one of these people who's, well, I'm one of the good ones on the, you know, like people love me. I'm, I got all the right virtue signals and stuff. It'll never be enough. So watch this. This was the first video I found.
Probably about 2 months ago, I started exploring this national forest that's kind of by me to find a really cool campsite to start hosting healing retreats for my clients. And I found one that I was really excited about, so I stayed there for a weekend. And it was based at the foot of a mountain. And one morning I woke up and I just wanted to explore the mountain and see what was in there. And as I was exploring, I found, I think it must be a miner's old homestead. It's 2 really old brick buildings that are super run down. They had to have been like 100 to 200 years old. And I thought it was going to be like a really cool location to be able to do rituals with my covenant. But unfortunately, they were...
Yeah, are you catching all just the simple thing? Healing retreats, rituals with my covenant, because I guess saying covenant is wrong. There's just a lot of things going on here really quick. We haven't even gotten to the swastika thing yet.
All right. Yeah.
There were all of these swastikas all over the trees, and I didn't have anything at the time to get them out. And I shit you not that I lost sleep for 30 days until I was able to get a hatchet and get back up to this same exact spot to get these swastikas out that absolutely no one was seeing. But the important thing is that the trees feel much better. They were thanking me the whole time for erasing the symbol of hate, and I felt good doing it. And anyway, that's it. Probably about 2 months ago, I started exploring.
Okay, so
yeah, first thoughts.
Well, first off, I think it's absolutely utterly stupid what she's doing, because what she's removing from the tree is actually the tree healing itself. First off, like, I mean, the way plants work is like that's already like.
Well, yeah, that's
whatever.
the one. That's the one thing is like, yeah, the first thing obviously is like, well, it was more about removing the swastika than the than protecting the tree. So I saw this and I was like, oh, hey, look at this awesome virtue signaling where she was saying like, and I went and did this and I knew that like, no one even saw these, but I did it anyway. And it's like, okay, but you're making a TikTok about it. So shut the hell up about that.
This is the thing that like, is doing this like as a job. It's like, first off, it's like, no matter what, you have somebody filming you do this. It immediately says to me, it's utter bullshit.
Well, yeah, if it didn't look so aged, I would think that she put it in there so she could scrape it off.
That's why I said is like, what she's removing is already a healed process.
Yeah, the tree has healed itself. Healed. Yeah.
And you don't even have to like understand how like the biology of like plants. Look at what she removes.
I know, and what it looks like.
She basically peels the skin off of this tree. Like for somebody who doesn't understand how even like trees work, you have to see that. You're just removing like what you don't want to see.
Well, it was about removing the symbol because it was so bad. But when I started going through the comments, and it just made me laugh even harder because I was like, wow, this is a weird can of worms that we've opened up here with this video. Yeah, because first of all,
these people in the comments saying like, wow, you just killed a tree. Oh no, you did not. She did not.
I know it's like so. You got some of the tree huggers are saying that you just killed this tree, which shows that you know nothing about the trees. But it's these
plants are way more resilient.
You killed a bunch of trees. 2 wrongs never make a right. And then there's these people who are this soup, because apparently she said there was a bunch of these around, so she did this to a bunch of trees. She removed swastikas, but then this other person saying, "Oh, so now y'all suddenly care about trees? What does that even mean? I don't understand."
It means nothing. It means because you can never do enough. That's the whole point.
I know, it's just like I've cared about trees forever, and now you care. I was like, what are you talking about? There's a few good ones. It just cracked me up.
Oh my god.
Yeah, here we go. I love these ones, right? Y'all act like you care about trees, but you use paper.
I love that.
I know. Wooden furniture, cardboard boxes, and cups, pencils, etc. It's like, man, why even bother trying to virtue signal with stuff like this?
So they say you use paper, wooden furniture, cardboard boxes, and cups. All those are biodegradable. That's actually better, quote unquote, for the environment than anything else, right?
But you got to save the tree. It doesn't have to make sense, man.
Hey, Wendigoon. I love that guy. There he is.
He said, hopefully this wasn't in
Europe. I love that guy. Check out that guy. I love that dude.
And then, of course, there's the people arguing about
on
the
YouTube. Though. I don't think that guy has a TikTok, so that may be a complete and utter scam. But check Wendigoon out.
Well, doesn't he have enough followers that he would be verified?
Yeah, probably. He's got over 1 million.
He's got 148,000 followers on TikTok, so it might be the same guy.
Yeah, it might be the same guy. Yeah.
Damn it, I can't get that to go away. There we go. And it's like,
I love that guy.
All of y'all are suddenly the Lorax or something. LOL. It's like, it's just a weird thing where it's like a virtue signal, and then everybody starts randomly arguing about things.
Do you ever see that movie?
Oh, the new one, you mean, or the newest one, whenever that was? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, newest, like 5 years ago or something like that.
Something like that. Yeah. But I mean, these comments I was rolling because I'm like, it's mostly people attacking her for like a bunch of different things that are like, they don't even agree on what they're mad at her about, you know?
Yeah.
And it's just like and it's all just a bunch of other virtue signaling where like that guy talking about, oh, you care about trees, but you use paper. And it's like, well, that is the dumbest shit I've ever heard.
Yeah, that's absolutely.
You know how many trees get cut down for paper every year? Yeah, but they also plant a shit ton of trees too.
All right,
I mean,
calm down, Dane Cook. Like, Jesus. All right,
these people.
Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. Give me 1 second.
And this random guy saying, "Does this hurt the axe?" Okay. But I don't know what's worse, like the people who have these weird takes about like, now you pretend to care about trees. What about the furniture? Or the people who are actually like, good job, good for you, it's amazing. But this is how it always happens. Yeah, she clearly posted this for, virtue signal points, right? I mean, obviously, why else would you do this? And it never works. It just ends up being yeah, you're right. It ends up being a circle jerk of virtue signaling where everyone disagrees about everything, but they're all trying to out virtue signal each other. Well, all I know is the actual verified account for Israel, the official TikTok account for the state of Israel, said thanked her for doing this. So she must have done good. So, this was already funny when I came across this, but then what makes it better?
Good morning.
It just keeps going.
Hi.
This is her responding to killed a bunch of trees. 2 wrongs never make a right.
I had no idea that was going to make so many people upset. Oh my gosh. And you know what?
She keeps making it worse.
I thought it was a symbol of hate. And I think it was a symbol of hate. I am aware that it's used in other cultures as a symbol of peace and abundance. I do practice, well, I don't even need to say that because people are roasting me. They're like, you're not even a witch. I'm just like, okay. I will be the villain. Plain and simple. I will be the villain every time. And if this is where my villain story starts, then I couldn't think of a better start. So, yeah, it just goes to show that people are either going to perceive you as the hero or the villain, and it doesn't matter what you do, and because somebody's always going to have a problem with it, you should always just do what you want to do. But I will be the villain. Thank you. Where's my cape? I want my damn cape.
Even when she's trying to act like it's just rolling off her back, man, it's hilarious. And you're not even a witch because she thinks that she's a witch and all this weird shit, man. I probably can look at the comments from the Israel post because there's no way TikTok would allow anything to be on there that if I read it, I would get in trouble. Oh, shit, I hit the wrong thing.
Wow, I see you.
Where is it?
Talking about Israel. I don't know.
Well, the official TikTok for the state of Israel commented on this video, so.
Yeah, it doesn't even surprise me for a second. I will not go into my personal beliefs about the state of Israel right now.
That sounds pretty
Listen,
anti-Semitic.
It's actually very Semitic, knowing a lot of very deeply Semitic individuals.
But man, this is hilarious. It is exactly what I thought. I was like, TikTok would never allow any like anti-Semitic comments to be on there. Because normally it would be funny to be like, just go read the crazy actual like, you know,
the actual anti-Semitic people
yeah,
that actually say something that is super crazy.
Yeah.
I know people like that too. Like,
but here the saga continues. So she posted this, and then the next day she posted this. I don't know if you did you catch any of that? I don't know if it was playing when you came back, but
Good
she's
morning.
Responding to the people.
I had no idea that was gonna make so many people upset. Oh my
hey,
gosh.
Nealon knows who
And you know
Wendigo is
what?
as well.
You know what? I thought it was a symbol.
Or Wendigoon's great.
And I think it was a symbol of hate.
I know,
I am
you told me
aware
a
that
few
it's
times.
used in other cultures as a symbol of peace and abundance. I do practice. Well, I don't even need to say that.
I think
because
we
people
could-
are roasting
you
me.
can
They're
get
like,
a-
you're not even a witch.
we could get a collab
It's
with
like,
Wendigo,
okay.
man. I think he lives
Um,
I think he lives around here.
But then, so the awesome part is, she's one of those, you know, those new age witchy types where she believes that
did you look at the comment she picked to respond to? I mean,
oh yeah,
very safe comment to respond
well, I
to.
mean,
on that
it
one.
really, I mean, if it was whoever put it there, if it was not meant to be the Nazi flag, then they did it wrong. So I mean, that was what people kept arguing about, and I was like,
Yeah.
but no, I mean, I've been to these temples that were around before the Nazis, and that's not the way they did it.
Well, I mean, you know, we
But that
we
doesn't
actually
even
talked
that
about this-
doesn't matter. I mean, that I
Yeah.
legitimately ignored that because I was like, well, this is just a stupid argument anyway. But so then that happens, but then it keeps going. It keeps going. So she tries the virtue signal. Everyone she tries the virtue signal to.
Dante, Virgil, leave me on.
Yeah,
Virgil,
and
leave me
then
on.
so then everyone's mad at her for this, all for different reasons, and all the people who tried, that she tried to impress with this virtual signals are the ones that are mad at her because she's killing the trees or she's not really a witch or so. And then it keeps rolling, and it gets better.
I think people knew damn well, but I also get why it's easy to be confused, and I also understand why there are people that are deeply defending what they feel is a cultural symbol, which it is. Let me show you what people are talking about. TikTok took down this video because it violated community guidelines because I showed the difference between the two symbols, but the one I cut down was indeed a hate symbol. It was slanted, and if it's from the Buddhist tradition, it's upright. It's horrible that a whole group
That's
of
one of the funniest things about this is she keeps trying to dig herself out of the hole. And no one lets her do it because of course they don't. These people always eat their own. That's just what they do.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, at that point in time, once you've gotten to that point, it doesn't mean anything. Oh, I'm gonna look up right now. I think you told me this before, but
yeah, I mean, I pulled it up because I was like, I figured I was probably gonna have to show it.
What is the technical like? Is the up and down the Buddhist symbol, or is the slanted the swastika? Like,
well, as you can see here,
Yeah.
the slanted
go.
is the one that's
there
I
you go.
mean,
Yeah.
And
but
I mean, it's
obviously,
also, I mean, it's
none of
on
that
everything.
actually genuinely matters.
It's on everything. So, well, that's what's like. It's such a stupid argument.
No, yeah. Well, okay. So
I hate hearing this when it's like
everyone out there in the video world will, I'll confirm. Swamp and I have been out to Japan before. We've been
and see, look, they have used it. They have used it. If you can look at the stream real
We've
quick.
been to some of these Buddhist temples and stuff like that. We've actually have been there out in Eastern Asia, and we have seen these things. And I will admit that it sometimes it is hard. It's hard to remember totally, but then immediately when you see it, you're like, oh yeah.
They did have symbols where they used it the other way. See, like this right here, they have it, but that's usually for a different reason. I mean, the main one that was used, obviously, right, was the one that's in all of these images from Nazi Germany. You know, this might be the thing that actually gets the stream taken down, because I don't think that you're, even in a historical context, I don't think you're allowed to show this.
these images. I don't think you can show them.
Yeah, I think even in a historical context, you're not allowed to show them.
Even though I use every
no, this one
opportunity I
right,
can get.
this is what was on the tree right here. This one was.
Yeah, it's slanted one.
Probably about 2 months.
Like that.
I will take this opportunity if you're already gonna get
I would think people
banned. I will always recommend a book that a lot of people I never heard of it before. It's very interesting. It's the Parallel Journeys. Have you read that book?
No, it sounds familiar. I think you told me about it.
I've told this before. It's an incredibly interesting book, and it got a lot of flack years later after it was written, because it was a book that was it was a collection of stories that was written from a kid in the Hitler Youth and a woman, like a young girl, in the in concentration camps in Germany at the time.
Oh yeah, I do remember you telling me about this. Yeah,
and they got so much flack about that book when they finally actually released it years later, because they met up years later because the stories actually intertwine each other, and it's incredibly interesting. So such a fascinating story, because it's all of it's all true. It's all actual written like things of how they viewed their lives at the time. It's all real stories. And
oh man, the one that I really wanted to show looks like is the one that got taken down. Well, here, let's hang on.
There are people that are deeply cravings, and so genocide. That will never be okay. But I also don't think that taking down those symbols of hate.
Dude, you're a crazy person if you think that you need to say stuff like that. You know what I mean?
What'd you say? Go back.
Well,
Play it again.
Genocide is never okay. I hate when people are like, well, okay, well then if you're really not a Nazi, why don't you denounce Nazis?
Okay,
well, yeah, of course. Of course I do.
But yeah, you have to say that though, because there's a big portion of our population in the U.S. that think genocide is okay.
I know, right? That's why you have to say it.
So
I wanted to. Oh, it was the one that.
I'm going to attempt to explain.
Oh, this is it. This is actually
to you guys in like the
because
span of 3
minutes.
We'll see how this goes.
Because she's all witchy,
to even understand how symbols work, you have to have a fairly decent understanding of the subconscious mind or your unconscious mind.
Well, first off, that's not true.
Mind. There have been some scientists that have said that the unconscious mind rules literally 95%.
Dude, here's all the pseudoscience and like this is like astrology. It's like that astrology stuff. You know, like, oh, it's science, and you're like, okay, sure it is.
Of our decisions, of our actions, of our choices, of our behaviors. Our subconscious mind controls our addictions, our trauma. It stores false beliefs we have, or even just positive beliefs. It's where our self-confidence is rooted in. There's so much that happens to us in our waking life that we do not have the energy and the ability to process everything, especially if it's really traumatic. So if something's really traumatic, it's gonna get stored in the subconscious mind. Or if you believe in like the body keeps score, that's a really good book about trauma and how your body works through it. Whether it's like the subconscious mind or your body storing it, either way we compartmentalize really hard things that happen to us or negative
None of
beliefs.
this is actually.
Maybe I'm the only person that thinks this is hilarious, but this was all because of she wanted to virtue signal for scraping off a swastika on a tree, and now she's like showing how smart she is about learning about subconscious mind and all. It's like, and I got to explain spirituality and blah blah.
None of the things she's saying in this video is actually based in any real world science. That's what cracks me up. None of this is actually ever been proven ever.
But here, but
none of this.
Don't you know? But don't you know that she knows this stuff? Okay, so let's. This is 3 minutes long. We're only a minute in.
Oh my god!
Or painful things we can't deal with on the surface immediately, so they go internally inside of us. The subconscious is almost the root of every problem we have.
Oh man, you can't accidentally almost do the Heil Hitler while you're talking about swastikas. If this was a right winger, there'd be a freeze frame of that and being like, look. She almost did it.
Wait for it.
See, speaking of the subconscious mind, since she's talking about it, she almost did it. She almost did it. Since she's right, it is subconscious. She's such a Nazi that she can't even help but do it.
it's because she's
deal with on the surface immediately, so they go internally
There we
inside
go.
of us. The subconscious is the
there it
only-
was. Oh, I got it. Screen cap it. I can get her canceled right now. Oh.
There she goes.
It's the root of every problem we ever have. So there's a lot of different ways that we can harness our subconscious so it's not ruling our lives. This is all kind of theories, but your subconscious speaks to you in symbols, and it also speaks to you in dreams very deeply. Dreams are a huge thing. Symbols, dreams, archetypes, all of this can be found in Carl Jung's book, A Man and His Symbols.
Right.
I think it's called.
She's that
very
girl that you knew in college.
Really
that,
helps you understand your level with your subconscious.
When you wake up at her house the next day, and
every time you see a circle with a bullseye in the middle, you think of Target. Walmart has a symbol. Almost every big brand name.
Interpretation, which is based on the entire idea that dreams are a basis of wish fulfillment, which we dream about what we want, which is then turns into the symbols that we create in our dreams is what the things we want. That's what all this is based on, what she's talking about. First off, it's all asinine. It's all utter bullshit.
That's what I was gonna say. It's like the thing you said where it's like when you're in college and you wake up at this girl's house and you're like, man, my head hurts, and then you're like, well, she's kind of cute, and then you look up on the ceiling and she's got one of those giant tapestries with all the astrological signs on it, and you're like, son of a bitch. And then she's like,
been there.
And she's like, oh, I see you looking at my tapestry, and you're like, God damn it, she saw me looking at it. Now she's gonna talk to me about it and be like, what sign are you? I don't know. Well, when's your birthday? This.
Yeah,
well,
it was
okay.
interesting.
Like, damn it.
Yeah, I think it was still the time of like, when I was around that time, it was still of like a. Well, have you heard of Buddhism? And you go, yeah.
Do you believe there are people who go, no, what's that?
I'm gonna go home now.
All right, we got to see if we can get. This is what happens on TikTok all the time. If anybody watches my TikTok streams now, you know that this happens where it's like, wait a minute. I feel like I've been listening to this person for 20 minutes, and you go, "Oh my God, it's been 47 seconds."
I like this one person that just genuinely just responded by just saying "Queen," which I assume means that they are a fan of the band, which I could talk on, nonstop about how that's a good thing.
I don't think that's what they mean.
Damn,
I'm sorry.
As a symbol. And it's not because it's just
Let's
good
try to get through
marketing.
this. All right,
There's something
let's
that's
see if we can
communicating
do
with
it.
your subconscious when you're seeing those symbols. And this is why symbols are so powerful, because if you can harness a symbol and if you can create a symbol that is able to speak to your subconscious mind, you don't have, that's like half the work done. It's like being able to have a therapy session, like we do one-on-one with a therapist in our conscious brain and our subconscious brain. So with that all in mind, if I take a client up into those woods and allow them, create a space for them to open up their subconscious, to bring those hard things forward, to bring that trauma forward, having a symbol that is communicating with their subconscious, saying that this is a symbol of hatred, this is a symbol of death, this is a symbol of instability, unsafety, something that was really like traumatic that happened in the general collective, they are not going to be able to open up into their subconscious nearly deep enough. That is my ultimate priority, is to make sure that my client's subconscious feels safe enough to let those things come up so we can help heal them. I also understand that there's a lot of contradicting opinions on this, and if this doesn't resonate, good for you. Keep scrolling. And if it does, great. I am just literally trying to express what has helped me in my healing journey, and this is one way that I've found to hack my brain to create new pathways so I don't keep putting myself in situations of sadness or misery or trauma over and over and over again. I'm going to...
Man, tell me that wasn't all extremely helpful to you.
Yeah, actually, I was... Yeah, I'm going to play devil's advocate here for a second, all right? I thought all that was complete and utter garbage until the moment that she said that this was helpful for her. Great. If it's helpful for you, you do it. You go do what you want to go into the woods? Great. You want to, I don't know, carve a isosceles triangle in a tree? Fine. More power to you. She go do that. But then when she starts talking about how she's using that to teach other people how to live, that's I'm not agreeing with.
And remember, all this crazy shit, and it just keeps going, man. I mean, there's like the next videos about it too. I mean, it just keeps going.
Stop! I'm telling you, stop it right now. Stop it.
No, I said that was the last one.
Because
it just keeps going.
The sky is the limit when you don't give a shit. I mean, the sky is the limit when nothing means anything.
She posted the video about the removing the swastika, and now she's had 4 videos after it talking about it.
I could, I'm gonna relate something that's super hip and topical amongst the cool, like, in the know, like, internet kids. The whole, oh god, I don't even know what this is a part of anymore. The back rooms thing. Have you heard about this? The whole like no clipping out of existence backrooms thing.
No.
So
that's not in my wheelhouse. I can tell you that.
So I'm gonna cast your mind back a bit. All right, I'm gonna relate back to all this. Because all of it's all a fictional narrative. I'm gonna show you how a fictional narrative can spiral out of control and become something that doesn't make any sense. So this whole thing, people started talking about this whole quote unquote backrooms thing, which was this like parallel dimension that existed outside of our own. It became a big like thing that people, everyone knew was fake. Obviously, it's a fictional like internet thing. People started talking about this like, oh, you can expand yourself outside of our existence. You become a part of this other thing. That's like you exit out of our existence, you become another part of something that doesn't exist anymore, the back rooms. But as you follow it, as you follow it beyond that, now people are creating this like there's like 900 levels to this thing that exists outside of around our existence. It's like, no, that was good enough. Why are you adding our own understanding of how reality works upon this thing?
A story.
Yeah, the story existed, and people were like sitting there being like, this thing existed. Like someone started this in like 2018. No, this thing existed in like on 4chan in like 2006. Doesn't matter. None of it means anything.
Well, yeah, it's just fun stuff to talk about.
But what happened with that story was, at one point in time, somebody created the story. It meant something. It was a cool thing people thought about. And then we took it, and someone else said, well, there's no boundaries. Well, now there's 1,000 levels to this thing. Okay, yeah, but the law of diminishing returns says that after a certain point in time, it doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah.
That's what's happening now. It doesn't matter anymore. If you can
but how do you feel about trees having swastikas on them? Because Nazi trees was really the Nazi trees has become the culmination of this video. So that's what's important here.
You know what? If these goddamn tree ants want to be Nazis,
dude, that's true.
Oh, hell yeah. I'll go to war with them.
Dude, that was an Aryan Brotherhood tree, and that was his tattoo, and she just scraped it off. That's brutal.
Oh,
man,
my
God.
That's brutal. That's gonna be my new story. I'm trying to get back into writing stories. My new story's gonna be that
Nazi ends,
racist Aryan Brotherhood tree. He's gonna sit there and like he's oh my god, no, I need to start this joke now because it's gonna be true real about a tree that's existed for thousands of years, and just watch the progression of society. He becomes funnier.
Yeah. Well, that's like Vandal Savage from the DC universe, who's been around since the beginning of time, and then he goes
comic book villain ever.
Yeah, and then he goes back in time to become the leader of the Nazis. He takes out Hitler and becomes the leader of the Nazis. Have you seen that one? Man, that's a good one.
Oh, the whole the story when they do the was that Justice League or Justice League Unlimited when they go back in time?
I don't remember. I mean, those are
Or
basically
no,
the same thing.
they don't go
but
back in time, but they're protected from the time
it
war.
was well,
where
Savage
the Nazis
Savage goes
won.
back in time.
Yeah.
Savage is the one that goes back in time and makes them win, and
But
the
he
Justice League
makes
they're
the Nazis
inside.
win,
Yeah,
right?
but he becomes
Yeah.
the leader of the Nazis because he's immortal, and so the Nazis are still around in the future. And yeah, they didn't get changed by the timeline
Well, it's
because
the
they
Green
were
Lantern.
they were
the Green
inside.
Lantern protects them, right? That's that whole story. The Green Lantern protects them when they're coming back.
Yeah, it was
to
just
Earth.
it was just a coincidence. They were in the I think they were in Wonder Woman's jet, and then Green
No,
Lantern had them in.
they were coming back from their satellite. Their
No, they were off on a
watch tower.
mission.
They were coming back
and
from the
then
watch
Green,
tower.
Well, they were off on
Right?
a mission that was far away from the Earth, and then the Green Lantern was transporting the jet with everybody in it. And so when they got back, time changed, but they didn't get affected because they were
but
protected by the Green Lantern.
It was because the Green Lantern was protecting them. They were.
Yeah, that's what I
because
said.
The wave goes out.
Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah, I'm with you.
But why would they need protection if they were part of the in the spaceship from?
They weren't in. It's a jet that doesn't go into space. It's Wonder Woman's jet. Yeah.
Okay, I get you.
But we don't, no need to get into, any deep DC lore for that.
Well, yeah, the point is, it's another story that proves that Batman is the greatest superhero to ever live, ever, in any kind of timeline, any existence ever.
Well, yeah, because he's not with them when the timeline changes, and so he's like in the resist. He's in the Nazi
He's the
resistance.
only superhero that exists.
And he still exists in the new timeline. He's been fighting the Nazis for like 40 years. Man, that's a good story. That's a good one.
I remember when I first watched Doom, and I'll admit I'm not up to date with the DC comics as you are, but that movie, man. When the first time I saw Vanilla Sage comes out, and he talks to the Legion of
Justice
Doom.
League. I thought you were talking about Doom the game. Okay, yeah.
No, the movie. No,
yeah, the
movie.
Justice League one. I thought you were talking about like Doom guy and stuff.
No. What that movie? When that movie came out, and he comes out to the Legion of Doom, and they're sitting there, I'm like, "Who are you? You're full of it. No, this is real." And he's all right, attack me right now. And then who was it? What Cheetah that like cuts his throats out, and he just falls over, and then just stands back up, and he just goes, "All right, anyone else want to try?" And then I realized that he's existed forever.
Yeah, he's one of the coolest villains in there for sure. All right, it's been long enough. The show is concluded. I was gonna do another segment, but I'll do that as a separate video.
All right,
this time.
We have driven off all the people who don't care about DC, so we're gonna.
Hey, the only people who don't care about DC are the ones who never read the comics and they only watch the movies.
I'm going through the New 52 right now. I never read the comics, but I'm going through right now. They're good, man.
Yeah, the New 52 is amazing. All right, guys. My name is Swamp Johnson, and this is. That's you. That's you.
That's me. Oh, this is Bog Johnson.
And this has been Swamp Live. So you guys have a good night. We'll see you next time.
Have a good one.